Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a new type of video here with the NBA season right around the corner. By the time you're seeing this, it's probably only going to be a day away. We're going to go through and look at every X factor for each team in the NBA. Today we're going to start off with the Eastern Conference so it doesn't get too long. Try to keep it between like 10-15 minutes. And then we'll do one for the Western Conference. And then we'll also do a series on what to watch for each team. But today, like I said, it's going to be the X factor for every team. So if you do enjoy basketball type content, this is the place to be all NBA season long. We will be posting daily. If you do enjoy today's video, make sure to stick around for the full video. Hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. All four things will really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. And as you can see here, not very many people are subscribed to the channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and just keep on coming back for more daily NBA content. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started looking at every team's X factor in the Eastern Conference. We'll start with the Atlanta Hawks, and it's going to be Trae Young and the return of Trae Young, because a couple of years ago, remember, it was not that long ago that they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, you might think, like, what's wrong with Trae Young? 26 points, 10 assists, 1 steal. I'll definitely take that every single day of the week. Well, he shot at 43% from the field and 34% from three. Those percentage points need to be, field goal percentage needs to be up at least 3. 3-point percentage needs to be up at least 4 this coming season for it to be considered a bounce back year for Trae Young, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the biggest X factor this year for the Hawks. You could say the young wings, but in my opinion, it's going to be Trae Young having a revival season. For the Celtics, it is Kristaps Porzingis. He's only played 60 or more games once in the last 6 years. The Celtics need for him to stay healthy. They need for their whole core to stay healthy because they have very little depth. Right now, the Celtics probably have the best top, if you look at their top 4, their main 4 guys, it's probably the best out of any team in the NBA. However, you got like a 38-year-old Al Horford after that. There's not much whatsoever after. Bald Derek White is different, but the Celtics need for Kristaps Porzingis specifically, but for their whole core to stay healthy in order for them to have a big year. For the Brooklyn Nets, it's going to be Ben Simmons returning to peak Ben Simmons form. Peak Ben Simmons, remember, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 1 block in his rookie through third year in the NBA. Those were roughly his averages. The Nets this year have a chance to have an all-time good defense. We're talking Detroit Pistons 2003-2004 type defense. They have a chance for that with all of their athletic long wings, with Nick Claxton in the middle, but it will all be started off by Ben Simmons if he is back to the Ben Simmons that Philly fans know and love. That's the biggest X factor for the Nets this year. Now for the Hornets, it's going to be Miles Bridges returning to previous Miles Bridges form, because keep in mind the Hornets were really, not really good. They were good when Bridges was playing with them a couple of years ago. 20 points per game, 7 rebounds, shot at 50% from the field. What team wouldn't struggle after all of a sudden losing that? Remember, the Hornets were the 4 seed. I think we talked about it in a Hornets video a couple of days ago. On January 28th of 2022, the Hornets were the 4 seed with a 28-22 record in the Eastern Conference. And then after that, things fell apart. And then shortly after, Miles Bridges threw his mouthpiece at a kid. And then shortly after that, he was suspended for the full year. So the X factor for the Hornets this year is Bridges coming back. For the Bulls, it is going to be more touches for Patrick Williams. This is a guy that is already one of the better wing defenders in the NBA with his versatility. He's an OG Anunoby type, if you will. But this is a guy that shot at 47% from the field and 42% from 3 last year. However, he only shot 8 times a game. Get this man more touches. He's 22 years old. He could be a guy that is the centerpiece of your rebuild with his two-way. That's what you look for in the modern NBA, is a guy that can play both ways and can dominate on very good efficiency. That could be Patrick Williams. Please get him some more touches. Now for the Cavs, it is going to be Evan Mobley's progression on the offensive side of the ball. We already know he's a great defender, and it's not like he was bad. He averaged 16 points a game last year. That's pretty good. But when it comes down to it in crunch time, you can't have, at this current moment, current day Evan Mobley and current day Jared Allen. Mobley shot at 21% from 3 last year. When it comes down to winning time in the NBA playoffs, you got to have 2 guys that can space the floor, or you got to have it. You can't have 2 guys that can't space the floor. There we go. You got Donovan Mitchell, you got Darius Garland, two great creators. Evan Mobley is going to have to take a step as a floor spacer this year. For the Pistons, it's going to be Cade Cunningham coming back to form. I really don't see a way the Pistons make the playoffs this year, but in order for them to take the step that is necessary for their ownership to be like, all right, let's make some moves this offseason. Let's get into the playoffs next year. Cade has to come back. He only played 12 games last year, but he did average 26 and 6. So if we see that version of Cade Cunningham this year, should be a very exciting year for Pistons fans. If we don't, if he starts to regress at like age 23, that could be very, very disappointing. But let's hope that he does progress and come back the way he was before the injury. Now, the Indiana Pacers, they have a missing piece, and it is at the starting power forward spot. Jarace Walker and Obi Toppin. The missing piece is that power forward. Like we said, one of these guys has to step up and play that role. If that happens, then the Pacers are looking really good. They need a guy that can really defend. Jarace Walker can really defend and can be very athletic. Both of these guys are very long and athletic. So in order for the Pacers to take that step, I mean, this is a team that legit, if they get that defense solved, could be a sleeper team to be a top seed in the Eastern Conference this year. So look out for the Indiana Pacers. Now for the Miami Heat, it's going to be Jimmy Butler staying young. He is turning 34 years old, or he already turned 34 years old last month. He's got to stay young. He has been dragging this Heat squad the last few years. I mean, he's had some help. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin. But the Heat got worse this offseason. And there's really no way around that. Last year, if Hero is playing, do they win another game or two against the Nuggets? Maybe. They probably don't win that championship. And then they get worse this offseason. Jimmy Butler's only getting older. The X factor for the Heat this year is Jimmy has to stay young. He has to be able to continue to play at the level he is playing. For the Milwaukee Bucks, it's going to be MarJon Beauchamp. If MarJon Beauchamp can take the leap that I think he is capable of with their weak bench, coming off the bench, being that X factor for the Bucks, then this team is capable of so much more than we thought. Now, last year, he only put up 5 points. He only put up 2.2 rebounds, 40% from the field. Not good numbers, honestly. But you take, the per 36 minutes, not terrible because obviously he didn't play very many minutes, and he was a rookie. So hopefully he progresses in his sophomore season and takes a big leap, which I and a lot of other NBA fans think he is going to take. If he does that, then the sky is the limit for this Bucks team. Now for the Knicks, it's going to be R.J. Barrett turning into a closer almost. Well, they have a closer in Jalen Brunson. And Barrett averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. But kind of the same thing with Trae Young. He did not do so efficiently. Last year, his shooting splits were 44% from the field and 31% from 3. That is atrocious from 3. Now, I get it. He's more of a slasher. He's never really been a 3-point shooter. But that's where the NBA is at today. You really don't have a choice other than to be a 3-point shooter, or you're going to get left in the dust. That's as simple as it gets. So RJ has to progress this year in that regard. And then you have the Orlando Magic, and that is a big sophomore year from Paolo Banchero, reigning Rookie of the Year. This is a Magic team that could make some noise in the Eastern Conference. Remember, they started out, everybody was injured last year, but a sophomore leap could be in the works for Paolo Banchero, where he gets up to like 25 a night. And if that happens, if Franz is still putting up 20 a game, look out for this Orlando Magic team. The Magic and the Pacers, my two biggest sleepers in the Eastern Conference when it comes to a team that is young, exciting, and could make a playoff run this year. Now, for the Philadelphia 76ers, it's going to be Tyrese Maxey stepping into that point guard 1 role. James Harden, he's gone. Okay, we've seen this play out time and time again at this point in James Harden's career. Who's going to want him? I mean, he doesn't want to stay loyal to one place. 20 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists. But with Harden gone, and we've seen once he makes up his mind that he's gone, he's not coming back. Tyrese Maxey has to be PG1 in Philadelphia. And if he can get up to 23, 24 points a game on really good efficiency, then look out. This Philadelphia team could be really good. But I could also see this Philadelphia team going into a bit of a retool if they go with the long-term game and get some longer-term assets for James Harden. Now, Toronto, the X factor is going to be how quickly can Grady Dick, how quickly can he impact the game? Last year, they were abysmal shooting the 3 ball. 28th in three-point attempts, three-pointers made, and three-point percentage. Last year at Kansas, Grady Dick, 14 points a game on 40% shooting from the field. So Grady Dick coming in, we'll see how quick of an impact he has. They also bring in Jalen McDaniels, who shot at 40% from three last year. So the Raptors' biggest X factor is not even Grady Dick. It's just them turning around their three-point shooting woes from last year. Now, for the Washington Wizards, there's not really an X factor here. This is going to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference, probably in the NBA. Jordan Poole, we'll see if, they can kind of see this year, get a gauge on if they want to make him their franchise player. You get to watch Bilal Coulibaly, who I was high on, but I think he went a little too high in this year's draft. We'll see how it all plays out for the Wizards, but they are bad. But yeah, that's it. That's all 15 Eastern Conference teams. If you want to see the Western Conference version, hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications because it will be coming soon. But the NBA season is 2 days away. Let's go. Opening night is the 24th. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.